Welcome back to the channel, everyone, in this week's comic book review and recap. Today we're going to look at my favorite Lantern Corps. Ever since the introduction of the Blackest Night storyline in the mid-2000s, the emotional spectrum has expanded to include not only green and yellow, but violet, indigo, red, blue, black, white, and my favorite, orange. That's right, we're going to look back at Agent Orange himself, the only member of his corps and keeper of Avarice, Larfleeze. It's easy to look at Larfleeze as a pure villain, someone who is entrenched in one of the worst emotional loops possible, that of pure greed, of insatiable wanting that turns one violent and unhinged. But, like most things, it's just not that simple. A lot of what we will cover comes from writer Jeff Johns' run on Green Lantern Volume 4, especially issues number 39, 40, and 41. However, Larfleeze made his first appearance in Green Lantern Volume 4, issue number 25, in the prelude to Blackest Night in January 2008. He was not even given a name at the time, and only appeared in a couple of panels as the Guardians warned Hal Jordan and the others about the Blackest Night prophecy. We first hear Larfleeze's thoughts in issue 39 as the Controllers, an offshoot of the Guardians, enter the Vega system and are drawn to the power of Avarice. Larfleeze even mentions that they look like the Guardians, only taller, which is significant because it means the Guardians have kept the orange light secret all of these years. The Controllers are quickly massacred for their intrusion, and Larfleeze, thinking these are members of the Guardians, declares that they have broken their treaty, another inference that Larfleeze and Oa have a history. Meanwhile, Hal Jordan is struggling to wield both a green and blue power ring. The power of will and the power of hope merged together. He is called back to Oa because there is an emergency involving the Red Lanterns, and Sinestro himself has been spotted. As Hal makes his way back to Oa, Green Lantern 3009, Stel, is in pursuit of a Yellow Lantern when they enter the Vega system. Stel's ring immediately informs him that the Vega system is an unauthorized area outside of the Green Lantern's jurisdiction. For Larfleeze, this additional intrusion into his star system is an act of aggression. An orange construct appears, devours the Yellow Lantern, and then Stel just after he gets off a distress call. As the Guardians interrogate Hal Jordan, upset that he is also wielding a blue ring, Larfleeze uses his power to contact them and reveal himself to the rest of the Green Lantern Corps. It becomes clear that Larfleeze, who is considered a terrorist by the Guardians, will now have to be confronted by the full might of the Green Lantern Corps. Issue 40 begins with the Guardians reinstating the Vega system under their jurisdiction. Green Lantern Gretty is the first to be sent into that system, filled with criminals wanted by the Green Lantern Corps. Soon, the whole of the Corps is within Vega, arresting hundreds, if not thousands. Eventually, the Guardians bring their Green Lanterns to the planet Okada, and they make their way directly towards the source of an immense power. Upset by this new intrusion, Larfleeze releases his Orange Lantern Corps upon the Green. The orange constructs absorb and consume the Green Lantern constructs. Their appetite for everything is insatiable, including attacking Gretty and tearing him limb from limb, and then eating his ring. At that moment, it becomes clear that whoever falls to the orange light becomes property of the Agent Orange and a construct in Larfleeze's army. As the battle rages, Hal Jordan falls through the surface into an underground cavern, still wielding both green and blue rings. He comes face to face with Larfleeze, who cradles his Orange Lantern power battery. Larfleeze has never seen a blue ring before, which means only one thing, that Larfleeze must make it his own. He must possess it. The following issue is now dedicated to Hal and Larfleeze as the Green Lantern begins to learn about this new foe. Hal states that Larfleeze looks like a cross between a wild boar and Gonzo from the Muppets. Larfleeze explains to Hal that he is the Orange Lantern Corps, that the constructs are identities he has stolen. He is the sole keeper of the orange flame, and with that comes his avarice to possess all things. Larfleeze tries to remove the blue ring from Hal, but since blue represents hope, and hope is selfless, it violently reacts with the orange power of greed and throws Larfleeze back. As Hal and Larfleeze continue their conflict, it becomes clear that the Orange Corps is too much for the Green. Realizing this, Hal strikes a bargain with Larfleeze. He will somehow give him the blue ring in exchange for his words, specifically how he came to know the Guardians and how he came to be. Larfleeze begins to tell how billions of years ago, he and his guild pulled off a heist, and with it came a box. But before they could open it, the manhunters appeared and chased them down. 4 of the 5 of them escaped, and when safe, they sorted through the loot, which contained a piece of an ancient map. It told of a treasure, and they went hunting for it. The treasure was hidden on the planet Okara, deep inside a temple. But during the journey, 2 of the 4 fell to the jungle, and the remaining 2, including Larfleeze, fell through the top of the temple to the underground, as if drawn by the treasure itself. The 2 thieves were engulfed in the orange light. At that moment, the Guardians and the Manhunters appeared. As they demanded that they release the orange light, the greed of the 2 thieves made it so powerful that not even the combined might of the Manhunters and the Guardians could combat it. The Guardians decided to strike a deal. They only wanted the box, the relic, and the thieves would be free to have the orange light as long as it never left the Vega system, and as long as only one of them survived because it was too dangerous for more than one to wield its power. Larfleeze killed the remaining member of his group to become the only keeper of the orange lantern. Larfleeze handed over the box that they had stolen. What was so important about this box? Inside was being kept the being known as Parallax, the embodiment of fear. And that is how Larfleeze came to become Agent Orange. Now he wanted his blue ring, which Hal was unable to remove, so Larfleeze forcibly removed it from Hal's finger. As Larfleeze placed it on his hand, his hunger is immediately quenched, but only for a moment. The blue ring defends itself and returns to Hal Jordan, as the blue and the green are somehow symbiotic, and the blue and the orange are not compatible at all. Larfleeze and Hal battle it out once again. Army of Constructs versus Army of Constructs. But Larfleeze is still proving to be more powerful until Hal unlocks the secret of the blue ring, which keeps asking Hal what he hopes for. And when Hal states that he wants all to be well, it registers with the blue light with 100% sincerity, releasing a powerful charge that pushes back Agent Orange. The blue ring, having done its necessary work, detaches itself from Hal, eludes Larfleeze's attempts to grab it, and then returns to where it came from. The Guardians now realize how powerful the blue light is, because while it battled the orange, it also recharged every Green Lantern ring to full power. At a stalemate and realizing that he is losing the power he stored up over decades, Larfleeze listens to the Guardians. They ask him what he wants in return for going back to their original agreement and ending this conflict. The Guardians order the Green Lanterns back to Oa. They do not tell the Corps what they gave Larfleeze in exchange for remaining in the Vega system, but we soon find out, as the last panel is the Orange Lantern with all his constructs descending upon Odin, homeworld of the Blue Lantern Light, because more than anything, Larfleeze wants his own blue ring. Now, with that concluded, many of you may think that Larfleeze is a pure representation of something vile and evil, and one could not be faulted for looking at him in that way. However, he is a creature who has endured slavery, endured the execution of his parents, and was basically forced into a life of crime to survive. He is as much a creature of circumstance as he is a creature of poor choices. And before we leave Larfleeze, there is one part of his story that needs to be told that will help you see him in a very different light, that of his encounter with Christmas. A holiday where you get to make a list of things you want and a mythical being brings them to you. That is something Larfleeze would never miss. And as he makes his list of wants, or as he calls them, demands, he goes to sleep anxious to wake up the next morning to see all of his new gifts. Unfortunately, no one explained to Larfleeze that Santa Claus isn't real. He is outraged. He feels slighted, cheated, and goes to look for Santa Claus to end him. This does not end well for Larfleeze or the dozens of mall Santas he encounters. Unable to understand the story of Santa Claus, why it is a ruse perpetuated upon the young, he decides that there must be a real Santa and heads to the North Pole. There, he will find him and end him for not giving him everything on his list. But on his way, Larfleeze is intercepted by Hal Jordan, who tries to show Larfleeze what Christmas is all about. Giving, not receiving. Larfleeze, after giving a lot of his stuff away in an attempt to attain the Christmas spirit, states that he may not like this holiday after all, and he is still concerned with his list of demands, to which Hal tells him to focus on what he needs, not what he wants. As Hal flies away, Larfleeze ponders that question, and we last see Agent Orange in his home, staring at his list and the only one item that he truly needs, that truly touches his heart. Larfleeze needs the one thing he will never be able to get back, his family. And with that, Larfleeze tries to sleep as we say goodbye. Maybe he's not such a villain after all. And to show you even more of that, I've included a still of Larfleeze's holiday cookie recipe for everyone to enjoy. And this is how Larfleeze became a part of the DC universe. What do you think? Let me know in the comment section below. Do you see Larfleeze as a villain or an anti-hero? And which Lantern Corps is your favorite? And which character do you want me to cover in a future installment of a comic verse review? As always, thank you for watching, and if you want more comic book fun, click on the thumbnails at the end of this video, and make sure to like and subscribe, as it helps me out tremendously. Remember, I'm still your reluctant gringo, and from south of the border, salute and a huevo.